My name is Heather Carosella, and I am here to discuss the differences between competition and monopolies in economic markets. Competition occurs when multiple firms act as suppliers of similar goods and services in a particular market. A market is considered to be competitive when multiple firms act as competing suppliers and no single firm can influence the market price or market conditions by themselves. Competitive markets provide many advantages. Consumers are provided with more choices. A greater variety of products and services becomes available to consumers. Consumer prices are also kept lower through competition between firms. The quality of products and services is also usually higher. Improvements in technology and innovation are needed for firms to stay successful and potentially gain the upper hand in their market. Competitive markets also do have some disadvantages. Firms must spend significantly more money on advertising and marketing due to competition with other firms. The number of local jobs can decrease and outsourcing can increase as firms choose to cut labor costs in order to provide their goods to consumers at lower prices. Firms may choose to refocus their efforts on increasing sales and decreasing prices for consumers at whatever cost, which can significantly lower the quality of their products. Cell phone service and devices are one example of a competitive market. Take Verizon and AT&T. They are two of the largest cell phone service providers in our country. Both provide similar products and services. One of the main factors that consumers take into consideration before choosing one over the other is the company's service area. If a consumer is moving to an area where AT&T has significantly more cell phone reception than Verizon, they would most likely choose AT&T. Another factor that a consumer may take into account is the brand of devices each company provides. If a person prefers Motorola Droid phones to all other phones, they would likely choose Verizon as their service provider because Verizon has exclusive rights to that line of phones. Through factors such as service area and exclusive products, companies like Verizon and AT&T can successfully compete with one another while still keeping the interests of consumers in mind. Now to cover monopolies. What is a monopoly, you might ask? Monopolies occur when a single firm is the primary or only supplier of goods and services in a particular market, and there is an absence of competition between firms, oftentimes resulting in high prices for consumers and inferior product quality. A pure monopoly is defined as a single firm supplying goods and services in a particular market. A monopoly power occurs when a very small number of firms supply goods and services in a particular market. Monopoly powers are more common today due to antitrust laws and regulations. Despite the regulations restricting them, monopolies do provide some advantages for markets. Advertising and marketing costs are lower when monopolies are present due to a lack of competition between firms. More money from abnormally high profits can be invested into improving the local infrastructure as well as extensive research and development into new products. This can result in technological advances, improved products, and lower costs. Increased demand of products and services from a single firm leads to an increase in output. Production costs decrease as a result, and prices for consumers can potentially be lowered. A firm controlling a large part of a domestic market may be able to more effectively compete in global markets as a result of this. There are many notable disadvantages to monopolies. Consumers are provided with a smaller variety of products and services. Consumer prices can also be higher due to a lack of competing firms. Improvements in technology are still needed to be successful, but they may occur at a slower pace. The quality of products and services provided to consumers may be lower as a result. One of the best examples of a monopoly is the Standard Oil Company. In 1870, John D. Rockefeller and a handful of other investors created the company. As the demand for kerosene and gasoline grew, the company expanded and absorbed smaller refinery and supply companies that competed with them. Eventually, Rockefeller colluded with numerous railroad and steel companies in an attempt to control rates and dominate over his competition. Rockefeller believed that there was nothing wrong with his company's aggressive and expansive growth. At one point, he stated that the growth of a large business is merely a survival of the fittest. Eventually, antitrust laws and regulations were laid down to prevent monopolies. Over the course of this presentation, we have discussed the key points of competitive firms and monopolies. We have also looked at some of the advantages and disadvantages of both, but can we really say that one is better than the other? Regulations help to guide the invisible hand of economics and maintain a balance between self-interest of firms and social interest of the public. Without regulations in place, there would be little external incentive for firms to synchronize their self-interest with the greater social interest. Externalities such as pollution and resource shortages would occur without bounds, and communities as well as the environment would both suffer. It can be argued that as a result of monopolies, a firm would be forced to pursue game-changing technological advancements in order to enter a market controlled by a monopoly or stay at the top. It can also be argued that without competitive markets, the price system would be rendered ineffective and the rights of consumers to choice and fair prices would be violated. Markets effectively connect the world by encouraging trade and specialization, which results in economic growth and sustainable practices worldwide. In 5 minutes, we can only scratch the surface of a very broad economic debate. I encourage each of you to seek out more information regarding competitive firms and monopolies. Although they are very large and encompassing topics of discussion, they are very relevant to each one of us as consumers who are actively involved in a variety of different markets daily where these decisions occur. Thank you.